All right, welcome to Kentucky Football Nation. We're going to talk about the Bush-Hamdan offense today. Since most people who do podcasts and predictions on us don't know anything about the Bush-Hamdan offense, I'm going to simplify it for you. Now, I am just a fan. I'm not a coach. I could have got some of this wrong, but we're going to simplify. Since even Kentucky fans, I can understand if SEC fans get on and their little Tennessee podcast and their little SEC Fine-Bomber podcast and say we're going to win 3 games. But if you're a Kentucky fan and you get on your YouTube channel and you say we're not going to win a game in the SEC and you say we have a lousy roster, we do not have a lousy roster, and you're just reciting talking points. Okay, there's a specific reason why we brought in Zach Calzada. There's a specific reason why we brought in an offensive lineman, the tight end Boyer. Specific reasons, okay, why our offense is going to be good and why we're not going to go winless in the SEC. But since nobody else wants to put in the time and effort, Tom will put in the time and effort in Kentucky Football Nation. So let's look at the Bush-Hamdan offense here, okay? I think you see my laser pointer. There's 4 formations in the Boise State offense. And I think this is what he's going to run because this is why he got his players. There's the gun, there's the pistol, there's the single back, and the Wildcat, okay? Now, the Wildcat has a quarterback. It's not the running backs lining up and running out of the backfield, okay? So it's not the traditional Wildcat. This is the 4 main formations of the Boise State offense. See Ashton Jeanty. If you really want to see Ashton Jeanty, who's that? First running back taken in the draft, starting for the Las Vegas Raiders. Go back and watch Ashton Jeanty highlights from 2024 if you want to know what our run game is going to be like. Now, I know that's going to take time for you guys, and you're going to have to look it up, and you're going to have to think about it. But if you don't look at this stuff right here, then you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So stay off YouTube. Okay, a lot of our plays, not most of them, the majority are going to come out of the gun and one back sets. Okay. So that one back is going to be, I put over here, Seth McGowan. That's why we picked this guy up. Okay, it's not going to be Wilcox. It's going to be Dowdell when we get down on the goal line. But it's going to be Seth McGowan. Why is it going to be Seth McGowan? What have I said in my videos? The running back catches passes. He runs out on little wheel routes. He gets out in space, and they do play fakes. Okay, play fakes. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this is why Zach Calzada was brought in. This is why Seth McGowan was brought in, because to run this offense, we need experienced players. Last year, we didn't have the offensive line to run these formations. We didn't have the tight ends that could block to run this formation. No offense against Wilcox, who couldn't tie his shoe. We didn't have running backs. The reason we were so bad last year, Bush-Hamdan came in on February 14th and tried to install this offense, and it didn't work. Okay, it's that simple. It's not going to work. I don't know how many games you're going to win, but you're going to see a completely different offense. Okay, out of the gun. Zach Calzada, out of the gun. They're going to run out of the gun. They're going to run out of the pistol. They're going to do a lot of run and play action. That's why we got Calzada. Okay, Boley is not probably skilled at doing play action and off the run. What's the pistol formation, you say? The pistol formation is where the quarterback is like 3 or 4 yards behind the center, and then behind the quarterback 2 or 3 more yards is the running back. So it's usually a single back set. Okay, you can run 2 out of this, but this is usually a single back formation. Okay, there's a lot of counter running, a lot of misdirection run plays. Okay, it's more misdirection than power plays. That's how Ashton Jeanty got taken in the first round, because it's hard to block this. Okay, there's a lot, 2 tight end sets. We'll talk about the tight end more in a minute, but yeah, a lot of run and play action out of the pistol. Once again, the pistol is usually a single back set, and the quarterback is a couple yards behind the center. Single back sets, a lot of single back sets in the Bush-Hamdan offense. I do believe if he runs the Boise State, and I think he's gonna. Seth McGowan's gonna be that. Okay, we can throw out any of these formations. Okay, and like I said, the Wildcat formation, there is a quarterback, but it is a tight formation. Okay, now on most of these formations, in these 3 formations right here, pistol, single, Wildcat, Kendrick Law, the slot wide receiver, is close to the line of scrimmage. Okay, he's blocking. Okay, he's getting quick passes. Like I said, this is quick passes Wandale Robinson is what I called him, junior. He's a poor man, Wandale Robinson. He's going to be close to the line of scrimmage in a lot of these formations, and he's going to run block. So we are going to run the ball down people's throat. How's that going to work, Tom? Well, because we went out and got offensive linemen like Joshua Braun, Siaj Pete, Wilbur Lee from Western Kentucky, Wolf Slager, okay, from the MAC. We got really good offensive linemen to go with Jalen Farmer and Jagger Burton and the people we kept. So we are going to be able to run the ball because we have the quarterback who can do the run play action and make passes out of these formations. We have the running back who can get downhill and who can run out and do all the passing plays. And we have the offensive line to do that. Okay. Once again, go down there and see Ashton Genty. The Boise State Bush Hamdan offense is running back and it is a running back and tight end friendly offense. I didn't put the word friendly in here. Okay, I should have. All right. There's a lot of play fakes. We said that's why Cutter Bowley's not in there, guys, because to execute this offense, if you look at it, it's a lot of play fakes, a lot of timing routes, and that's where Zach Calzada comes in. Zach Calzada does not have to be a hero to win these games. What did we say? The goal of a Bush Hamdan Boise State offense is 200 yards passing, 200 yards rushing. It's that simple. Tight end alignments, guys. The tight end lines up everywhere. There's two tight ends. On some of the formations, he's lined up as a wide receiver all the way at the end of the formation, all the way over here, by the out of bounds marker. So he's lined up as a wide receiver. They line up everywhere. We did not have the tight ends last year. Josh Caddis and Rodriguez could not block. That's why Boyer's in there. So you will see the tight end everywhere. Sometimes it'll be one tight end. Sometimes it'll be two tight ends. Sometimes the tight end will line up in the slot. Sometimes it'll line up all over the place. Okay, that's what this is about. The running back and the tight end. Okay, to end it, there are very few RPOs. There's not run play option in this offense. Okay. There's no pre-snap motion. You just line up, call the play, and run it right down their throat. And like we said, there's more counter runs than power runs. In other words, misdirection. This is the Boise State Bush Hamdan offense. This is why you should be optimistic about Kentucky football. This is why we're not going to go winless in the SEC. I guarantee you, if we wear people down, and this is not easy to defend, okay, when you continually line up and hit people in the mouth. But that's what we have to do. That's our goal. I don't know how many you're going to see. Like I said, I don't know how many wins we're going to have, but you're going to see a completely different offense. But that is the Bush Hamdan offense I am predicting. I do not know for sure, but by all the players that we got, we're going to be able to run these formations, okay? These four formations. So you're going to see us out of the gun, like I said. Gun the majority of the time, pistol, single back. So look for Seth McGowan, okay? Look for the tight end, whoever, Boyer, Rodriguez, Caddis. But the star of the offense needs to be the running back, whether it's Seth McGowan, Dowdell on the goal line, Wilcox if he can tie his shoe, and Patterson. So we did all this. Once again, go watch Ashton Genty highlights from 2024 if you want to see how we're going to run. We can do this, guys, okay? I want you to get excited about the football season. I don't know how many games we're going to win, but you're going to see a completely different offense. This offense uses the clock, and it just flat out lines up in all kinds of formations and moves people around. And like I said, it's misdirection as much as it is power. Okay? Now, I do not know a lot about football, but I can do a little bit of study time. And if you're a Kentucky channel and you're sitting there being gloom and doom, you need to close down your channel until basketball season comes on, because I'm getting tired of hearing it. And for all you lazy people that do SEC channels, you don't even know who Bush Hamdan is. You don't know who Brad White is. It's just you're lazy. And okay, I know we're going to win 2 games and Mark Stoops is fired. Well, you know what, guys? To all my Kentucky fans and all my subscribers, just hold up a second. It's time to get happy, because we can beat Ole Miss running this. We can beat Vanderbilt running this. We can beat Auburn running this offense. We can beat Florida running this offense. There's some teams we can get. Like I said, look at the power rankings. We're 35. Louisville's 41. Vanderbilt's 58. All right. You get that's 5 wins right there. And 6 is a bowl. So we will go to a bowl. We will get, I'm going to call out 6 wins. And I'm going to say something right now that I've said on all my videos. We're going to get somebody. We're going to get somebody that we're not supposed to get, just like we got Ole Miss. So Mark Stoops is not dead yet. Bush Hamdan is a good offensive coordinator. He got the right pieces to run this offense. That was the key. All right, if you're not subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button, guys. I'm not a genius. I'm not a football coach, but I can look up basic things, and I will try to educate all of us, because I didn't know this, about Kentucky football. We will do basketball. There's a basketball portion of the channel. There's a short section with basketball and football videos. Tomorrow night, Sunday, August 10th, is our live. We're going to talk more about this tomorrow. I'm not even going to erase this. So come, let's talk about it tomorrow night, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on Sunday night. Once again, get happy. We got a good offense. Go Cats.